Austria donates motorcycles to Ukraine's military. So let's talk about Ukraine's off-road advantage and what we can learn from U.S. Special Forces motorcycle tactics. Privyet, Druzy, I'm Wes O'Donnell, U.S. military veteran of a couple of different branches and defense nerd at Eyes Only on Substack. And today we're asking, what good are motorcycles in the Ukrainian military? Well, let's kickstart this sucker and find out. But first, I bet my old squad mates in the 101st Airborne that I would reach 30,000 subscribers by mid-October. We're almost there, friends. Help me win this bet. Hit that subscribe button. Okay, let's jump in. I come from a motorcycle family. My father, now elderly, still rides his Harley Davidson every chance he gets. His brother, my uncle, rides off-road dirt bikes for fun. And his sons, my cousins, compete semi-professionally in high-speed superbike moto racing. I used to fantasize about owning the Kawasaki Ninja motorcycle in high school as I'd flip through a brochure secretly in class. One of the key benefits of joining the Army, or so I thought at the time, was that I'd finally have enough money to buy a bike. But like anything with wheels and an engine, I would learn that there are military applications for motorcycles. In Ukraine, there is certainly no shortage of war machines on the battlefield, and the motorcycle, well, it's having a moment. Unlike Russia, which has lost around 14,000 armored vehicles and has resorted to using Mad Max-style motorcycles to assault fortified positions, Ukraine plans to use motorcycles in a completely different way. But first, where is Ukraine getting its bikes? A few months ago, Austria donated an unspecified number of KTM 450 Scrambler-style motorcycles to the armed forces of Ukraine. The AFU also has various other models from both Allied donations and homegrown manufacturing. Austria's KTM 450 EXC is a cross-country enduro motorcycle that's a benchmark among dirt bike enthusiasts. The motorcycle has been constantly improved based on rider feedback. It's lightweight at only 230 pounds, and it boasts a 450cc 48 horsepower gasoline engine. As far as dirt bikes go, this one is not exactly cheap. New KTM 450s go for about 20,000 AUD, or about $14,000. So, if Russia is using motorcycles as a necessity in the absence of armored vehicles, how might Ukraine's use be different? Today, each branch of the U.S. military employs motorcycles for various missions, but the way they use them varies widely. By and large, in the U.S. military, motorcycles are reserved for special operations forces. While Russia has been seen performing frontal assaults on makeshift motorcycles, the U.S. has a much more strategic approach. Unsurprisingly, Ukraine's motorcycle use mirrors U.S. military use. Remember, the U.S. military trained Ukraine's military between 2015 and 2021 in Ukraine. The military partnership between our two nations goes back a decade. So for U.S. special operators, motorcycles offer quick movement over rough terrain, allowing operators to zip around obstacles or support any number of mission-critical tasks. These bikes aren't just off-the-shelf models. They are purpose-built or heavily modified versions of commercially available motorcycles. They can be easily transported in helicopters or other military vehicles and are designed to perform in the harshest environments. The lack of keyed ignitions and the use of camouflage paint based on the operational terrain are just a couple of the ways these bikes are tailored for special operations use. Units like the Marine Expeditionary and the Air Force Combat Controllers use the Kawasaki KLR 250 D8 for fast personnel movement, reconnaissance, and message delivery. Members of the Army's 75th Ranger Regiment also rely on this bike for scouting missions and passing messages. Like all military motorcycles, this one isn't armed, except for whatever weapons the rider might be carrying. While the KLR 250 is still in service, it has largely been replaced by the KLR 650. Modified for military use, this bike can run on JP8 diesel, the standard fuel used by the US military, making it incredibly fuel efficient at 96 miles per gallon. Known by the military nomenclature as the Hayes M1030, it's been further adapted by Hayes Diversified Technologies to include a smaller engine that delivers 28 horsepower, propelling the bike to speeds of 85 miles per hour. With a range of 400 miles, it's a logistical dream for operators who need to cover long distances without frequent refueling. In 2013, the Zero MMX was introduced as a potential game changer for special operations units, offering near silent operation thanks to its electric motor. The electric engine's low heat signature also offers protection against infrared sensors, giving riders an additional layer of stealth. The electric motorcycle is, at least to me, the most intriguing evolution of this tech on the battlefield. As far back as May of 2022, shortly after the full-scale Russian invasion started, Ukrainian military leaders were already requesting electric motorbikes to quietly insert sniper teams. As Howard Altman at the Warzone reported, Mamuka Mamalashvili, commander of the Georgian Legion, said he needs a fast, quiet vehicle to get sniper teams to a location where they can fire off shots for about 5 to 10 minutes and then quickly and quietly get out before the Russians start raining down artillery on their position. But it goes beyond moving sniper teams quietly around the Ukrainian battle space. Ukraine has modified the bikes to carry next-generation light anti-tank weapons, or NLAWs, with pictures on social media showing them modified with a crate on the back and a huge missile launcher poking out from the back. According to Vice, most of the e-bikes are E-Leak and Delfast brand bikes. The Delfast can reach 50 miles an hour, or 80 kilometers per hour, allowing soldiers with NLAWs to move into position, fire at a target, and flee within moments. It's also worth noting that I've seen the Atom military electric motorbike in open source imagery from Ukraine, so we know that's on the battlefield as well. These silent, quick machines are also excellent for performing guard patrols without alerting enemy forces. Electric motorcycles actually lead to a larger conversation about more lethal electric vehicles, like, let's say, electric tanks on the battlefield. So far, the energy for American warfighting has been provided by fossil fuels, because that's the logistical infrastructure that the military is comfortable using, and we're quite good at expeditionary fighting under this system. Until the benefits of electric war machines convince the generals that it's worth restructuring the entire supply chain, we're going to be stuck with JP8. But that doesn't mean that small units, like Special Forces, can't take advantage of these quiet, nimble little e-bikes. Ukraine is currently realizing their benefit as it works to expel its invaders. So, the difference between Russian and Ukrainian motorcycle use is night and day as far as we can tell. Ukraine is smartly using these vehicles as nimble forms of transportation to strike fast and move to safety, while their opponents are using motorcycles in insane frontal assaults out of necessity because they are low on armored vehicles. It's an interesting contrast, one that gives confidence that Ukraine will ultimately win this war. That's it for now. I would love it if you subscribe. It helps keep me motivated to keep making videos like this. And as always, glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. Slava Ukraini.